Hello everyone, welcome to Magical Me. I'm Jamie Mendez, spiritual intuitive and oracle, and I'm here with my weekly Moon Day message. So I'm just going to give it a few moments and let people connect, and this way I can kind of confirm the sound and video quality are okay before I really get into what is going on here today. So if you are tuning in, if you just want to drop me a comment and let me know, one, how you're doing, and two, how you can hear it. If it's okay, if it's having some issues, let's hope not. Hi, Eleanor. Welcome, beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you're doing well. I know that sometimes these comments are delayed too. There you go. How's the sound? Is it okay? Are we having any issues? It's good? All right, awesome, thank you. I'm just gonna do a real quick unplugging of the microphone. There we go. Hey Jillian, hey Laura. Thanks, beautiful. I appreciate that. Well, you know, if it walks like a duck. No, I'm kidding. Thank you. All right, so it's good. I'm just going to take a quick second and I am going to share this just to let people know that I am live since it is not my normal day. Awesome. Thanks, Jillian. Okay, just bear with me one moment. And how are you doing? How is everyone feeling with this energy of the last couple of days? It's been quite interesting and I cannot wait to talk about it. Okay. Done. All right. Got that shared. Okay, so I'll do that really quick rundown for anybody who is new to my page. Welcome and thank you so much for being here. I hope that you enjoy what you find, and those of you who are not new to my page, welcome back and thank you so much again for always being here with me. So every Monday, usually, obviously today is Tuesday, every Monday I do try to go live as long as I am able to or divine timing allows, to bring forward a message for the collective for the week. And this message is used, I do this utilizing my own intuitive abilities as well as pulling an oracle card for guidance for all of us. I do also like to talk a little bit about the energy and what might be coming up, what I have intuitively felt, received, if there's anything going on in the cosmos that might be having an impact on us this week. So I'll do all of that as well. And then I like to work with a mudra and bring forward a little bit of an kind of an activity, but also it's a very powerful tool to allow us all to really facilitate our own healing and growth and enlightenment. So really potent, and we'll talk more about mudras when we get there. But these readings are more of a generalized overview for the collective for this week. It is an individual personal readings that I'm doing here today, although I do offer individual readings. If you are interested, then you can just check out my services on my page and you can book a private one-on-one reading with me. Also, I do offer remote as well as in-person energy healing sessions. So if you're interested in those, you can also reach out. So this is going to be a reading for the collective for the week of July 6th, 2021. So lots of stuff to talk about today. So I'm going to do my best to really kind of summarize everything so I'm not really overwhelming everybody with it all because, again, it's quite a bit. So Usually I talk about news and announcements as well between my business here at Magical Me and anything I might be having going on at Oracles of the Light, which is my sister business. But there's really nothing to announce at this time. We're all kind of just chilling in the energy and just integrating and kind of enjoying a little bit of downtime. Although we're still always offering card readings, healing sessions, all that fun stuff. Just no big announcements at this moment. Hi, Denise. Welcome, lovely. Thank you for being here. So, energy forecast is really what I want to focus on because it's pretty big. Hey, Lara. Welcome, gorgeous. So I'm going to talk first, before I get into all of the intense cosmos stuff that's going on, I'm going to talk about what I've been feeling. And then you might see how even the stuff with the cosmos is really playing into all of this, or even facilitating all of this. So I will say about the last, it's been at least a couple of days, maybe not quite a week, but it's been at least a couple of days. I have been feeling like on the edge of a major breakthrough. But when I say on the edge, that's also literal, like very edgy energy, very agitated energy also coming up. And it's not all the time. I feel like this push and pull of energy where I'm feeling like very in my flow, very cool, calm, in the peace. And then I suddenly start to feel that stuff start to bubble up again. So what I've noticed is that with the current energies, there has been a whole lot of emotional turbulence coming up to the surface. And it feels as though we literally are being cracked open or have been cracked open. And I think that's an important thing to note, is that feeling, because the cracked open is something that we are kind of programmed to resist. We are kind of programmed through, social conditioning, through religious conditioning, through parental conditioning, and just society in general. We're really kind of taught to keep it together and hold it all in. And that can really link into a repression of the divine feminine energy within us and within the planet. But I won't go too much into that right now. But when we get cracked open, and some of you may have heard me talk about this before, that's how we allow the heavy stuff, the deep stuff, to actually pour out of us. And as that is pouring out of us, we are actually making room for the healing energy and the light to flow into those cracks, to actually kind of heal and seal those cracks with that, again, new energy to help us to move forward and expand beyond the known, the conditioning, the patterning. So with that said, last moon day, we actually talked a lot about, or I talked about, the past lifetimes and even past this lifetime cycles and patternings, even wounds that were coming back up to the surface to be acknowledged and dealt with. And that theme is actually still running. We're actually still in the midst of that, although I will say feeling a little bit more liberated this week versus last week, whereas last week felt like we were kind of getting into it and being in the throes of it. This week feels like we're coming a little bit more up and out of it, if that makes sense. Hi, Tracy. Feeling the same energy on the edge of the breakthrough too. Exactly. Yep, exactly that feeling. I love that. Marianne, welcome. Thanks for being here. Carmela, welcome. Thanks for being here, ladies. So yeah, it is. It's on the edge, and we really are on the edge of a major breakthrough. Now, yes, obviously this is individually, but this is also as the collective energies, right? So I want to kind of give you a really physical picture example of what is going on right now. I don't know if all of you have heard about this, and very is as sad and as tragic as this is. In Mount Shasta, California, and different parts there of California, there is how many I don't even know how many acres that have been devastated by fire. And there was an electrical, I shouldn't say electrical, that's how I see it in my head, electrical, but it was a lightning bolt that actually supposedly hit like a lava site, an old lava site, and it actually, you know, created or started this fire that is still currently, sadly, going on. So just, you know, I'm always asking everybody to please just send some healing and some love. I'm praying for rain. But simultaneously, in Iceland, I recently saw that there's also has been an eruption of a volcano. There's more lava, right? And then you can see, I don't know about where you are in the world, but in the United States, it is hot, incredibly hot. And it really feels like the bubbling is coming up from the surface, that agitation, that friction, the necessary alchemy that is actually pushing us all to erupt, like I was talking about, that emotions just having to be cracked open right now, pushing us to erupt so that we can really allow it to be released, to be healed, but also to move beyond it so that we can finally live life on our terms, according to what is meant for us, according to what we want, versus being stuck in these old cycles and these old patterns. Hey, Rob. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Yes, Divine Masculine. So funny you popped in right when you did, because divine timing. I actually want to talk a little bit about the Divine Masculine today. So, Jillian says, was just watching footage of that Icelandic eruption, right? So it can be likened to what is going on within us all emotionally. And this is all purging, again, as tragic as it is. And of course, we're not taking away from that and all of the devastation that might be occurring in lieu of it. But on the big picture perspective, we can see how there's this divine amplification that's happening that is to crack open the mold. You know, lava is deep down underneath the surface. Now, think about these emotional traumas, pains, cycles that are being stored deep down beneath our surface. So this is about getting in there and really getting it out, allowing it to come up and bubble up to the surface, right? So interestingly enough, last week we talked a little bit about the inner masculine child that was coming up for healing. Now, this week I will say, and put myself a little bit on blast here, I've felt a lot of emotional stuff coming up regarding the masculine energy. And now, just, I know I always say this, but I need to just put it out there to clarify. This is not specifically men. This is the masculine energy, although it can interpret to male energy. But we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. And for a lot of us, we have we're running on a distorted masculine energy, and then we are having that repressed feminine energy. So for me personally, I felt this tension coming up toward the masculine energy within my life, or just within circumstances, old patternings coming up where I felt this oppression. You know, I kind of felt like, I don't even know what the right word is, you know, like held down, but it felt, hostage is not the right word, not the right word, you know, kind of just enslaved maybe a little bit, you know, where it's kind of like not being heard, not being seen, not being felt, not being appreciated, all that self-worth coming up. But again, there was this pain and this trauma that I was really holding on to, that I actually was shown today through a session with one of my wonderful friends and brothers, Rob Comer of Lumatronic Healing. I actually had a healing activation session with him today. I recommend all of his modules. Amazing. I've done almost, I don't even know how many of them. So definitely check him out. I will drop, or Rob, feel free to plug your page in the comments, please. His work is phenomenal, and it really did facilitate quite a powerful one, healing, but also epiphany moments. And so I recognized, well, I had this vision of me standing in the flames. Now, I'm not going to say this is like burning in the flames. It was alchemical flames. But what came out was something that I didn't even realize I was holding, and it was this fury. this pain, this agony, and I was crying. And you could just feel it. And as I sat with it a little while after the session, I began to really see it as the anger and the frustration and the pain toward the masculine energy, not men. Okay, I just want to make that clear. Although there have been some men that played a role in that, but masculine energy. And by this, I also mean the patriarchal energy, which is the distorted masculine. Okay, so, and then I sat with that a little bit, and I was like, wow, Jamie, kind of feeling it within the past cycles, and obviously being an advocate for the goddess energy and working a lot with the sacred feminine, I am absolutely here to bring forward the sacred feminine and restore that healing and balance to the planet. However, one can tend to get a little lost in that, and it's important that we remember this, that we also, what we have experienced in our external, whether it be past lifetimes or this lifetime, whether it's in our friends, families, partnerships, in the even females in our life that are more masculine energy, that are displaying masculine, distorted masculine characteristics, it's so important for you to then take that and look internally. And then I recognized that this was also a cry from my masculine, from my own masculine that has been so slighted, has been so slandered and hurt by the anger and the pain that a lot of us have endured. So while the anger, and it's interesting because I got to put this back to even going back to my session with Rob, and not that there's anything wrong with this, but I also see everything is symbolic, guys. You got to kind of break every single thing down that you go through. I sought out a male, masculine, okay, because it's symbolic masculine, for my healing. So it's my masculine that wants to be heard and healed. So that really brought me back to reflecting even on a deeper level. And it was all of these emotional pains that are coming up, all of the traumas, a lot of them are going to involve distorted masculine traumas, right? Obviously, some could be distorted feminine, okay? Not leaning either way here on the scales. But a lot of them, let's just keep it real, are going to be geared towards distorted masculine wounding and trauma. And while that pain and anger definitely needs to be understood, it definitely needs to be heard, and it definitely serves a purpose in our healing, it is absolutely time to heal the masculine. It is absolutely time to bring forward all this feminine energy, this nurturing, this, that receptive, intuitive. It's time to take it and wrap it around the masculine and give it the healing that it also needs. The point of this is to get us to that place of no longer seeing masculine and feminine. This is about your oneness, your inner union for external union in the world. This is about dissolving the distortions between the illusion of separation and bringing yourself into oneness and wholeness, loving all aspects of yourself and loving all aspects of the self externally, because we are all one. We are all source. We are all love, and we've never left that. So when we begin to start to bring that healing to these patterns that are coming up, when we begin to bring that awareness to those patterns, wow, the shifts that happen. And this is something that specifically comes forward in the module that I did with Rob today. So I definitely have to give him credit, because he really took a lot of the things that I was feeling already, experiencing, and it just helped, again, put all those pieces together for that magical alchemical transformation that is really just coming back to one. And that is the ultraviolet ray that he is currently offering. So just had to put that out there. Now, with that said, forgiveness is a huge part of this. And I feel like forgiveness is probably going to be one of the themes for the month, because it is about getting ourselves into that place of forgiveness, because through forgiveness is transcendence. That is how we truly heal those wounds. So healing yourself, forgiving yourself. And, you know, like I said, when I saw that rage and fury, it hurt me to see that I had felt that way towards the masculine without even realizing it, but that I was also still carrying it, but also that I endured that. But I forgive, you know, it's part of an experience, it's part of my journey, and I can now use that magic. I can use that power to help heal not only myself, but the collective, but the planet. So it's so very important to move through your processes with love and compassion and forgiveness, but also with that awareness. And it allows you to begin to transcend. There's so much coming up right now with the cosmos that are really facilitating all of this. And the point of it is to bring you into what is meant for you. I had this rubber band feeling, like I would try to move forward and I'd get pulled back. Like I was standing on the brink of two worlds where here's one aspect of me that is just like, holy crap, look at her. She's amazing. She knows what she wants. She knows where she's going. And then there was another aspect of me that was just like, who does she think she is? And nobody cares. Nobody sees it. And so it doesn't matter anyway. So she might as well not try. Do you know? So with that pulling back, that was part of the old wounding. That was part of the old shackles that was there keeping me from being able to really fully see that full potential. But that rubber band broke. And when that rubber band breaks, you truly can align with the source of all you already are and what you always have been. All right? So, with that said, forgiveness. Allow the eruptions to happen. Please process in a productive way. Allow yourself to feel, like if you feel that need to go to that fury, that place, allow yourself to do it in a place that's like open space, in that meditative state where you give yourself your, free reign to do that, where you're not actually, hurting yourself, hurting anyone else. But obviously, absolutely communicate your truth, express your truth, speak up, but do so with love, okay? All right, so with that said, we are currently in the midst of, and there's 7 viewers right now, or at least that's what I see on my screen. 7 is the month of July, and 7 is a huge number for magic and alchemy and transformation. But I also see it as that leap, quantum leap into, kind of higher timelines, higher consciousness, really making the leap to separate yourself from the outdated, the distorted, what doesn't serve you anymore, to allow you to come into that transformation of who you are and who you've always been. So right now we are in the Sirius gateway. What that means is the star Sirius, known as our spiritual sun, is actually conjunct our literal sun right now. So the sun heats it up. We're currently in the midst of it. We feel it. Sun heats it all up, right? And it heats up that physical. So that physical anchoring and transformation that's happening. But then Sirius, our spiritual sun, actually heats up the soul. So that's helping us to have not only this physical shift in cleansing and clearing, which we so need in the planet right now, but it's also helping us have it on a soul path, in that spiritual, divine way, to come more into your soul essence. And that's the integration of your divine self, your higher self, and just embodying that in that awareness that you always are. So that has actually been going on since the 3rd. And we are, it says that we wrap it up tomorrow, but I don't really feel like we actually do wrap it up, because I think we just we peel back another layer and open up another layer of the gateway, because as of tomorrow being a 7/7 gateway, it just closes one door but opens up the next one. It's like, okay, you done with round 1, you ready for round 2. And it's going to open us up to prepare us for the Galactic New Year, which happens on the 26th of this month, but preparing us for that 8, I see 8 viewers now, 8/8 Lions Gate. So very powerful transformational stuff happening right now with this being in the midst of this gateway. you can really feel inspired. You can really feel that creative flow wanting to happen. And this is pushing us into our, our divine potential to help show us what else is there, what else is ready to be worked with or tapped into and connected with. So lots of expanded spiritual awareness happening right now. Yesterday, I felt like I got the living crap kicked out of me. It's funny that yesterday was said to be the actual peak of this spiritual gateway, or this Sirius gateway. And that's because high frequency light is actually flooding the planet. But when it floods the planet, it also floods our energy bodies, okay? So when we have this high frequency light hitting us, we'll tend to feel some physical ascension symptoms, like being incredibly exhausted, like feeling any kind of inflammation or some sorts of different like pains and things going on. Obviously, use common sense, a doctor or a healer if you need to do so. But just understand what else could be going on from a bigger perspective and really tap into that, look more into that, but rest if you need to. And if you're feeling very drained, allow yourself to rest. That's why I took off yesterday. I just really needed to rest and prepare for, obviously, this major activation I was having today. But lots of water, allow yourself to integrate, take lots of notes, because what is coming through right now is it's the stuff. Like, I don't know how else to put it except for how we'd say in Jersey, like, it's the stuff. Like, it's the good stuff. You want that. So put it down on paper, sit with it, even if it doesn't make sense, and allow that to start to come to you more, to inspire, because it's really pushing us to expand more. There's this powerful vibrational shift. Dreams, forget it. I've been dreaming. It's like I might as well just write novels and probably be bestsellers, because the stuff that's coming through in my dreams is amazing. And part of it, actually, I'm seeing a theme with the masculine energy, even in my dreams. So lots of healing, but also lots of higher learning, traveling to these schools of thought. And it's believed that Sirius not only is our spiritual sun, but it's like where we go to when we leave this realm. It's kind of like where you have to go to before you move on to your next journey. So it's like everybody has to go back to Sirius, and it's like learning, where you get prepared for your next mission, if you will. So there's that. Let's see, I had to take notes because it's so much. Yes, so spiritual advancement, entrepreneurial, I can't say that word. Entrepreneurial, is that right? Endeavors are really big for right now as well. So if not taking off with it, making plans at least, or starting to take notes towards that. This week we also have the new moon in the sign of Cancer. And that's on the 9th or the 10th, depending upon where you live at in this great big world. So Cancer is currently where the sun is in the zodiac sign of Cancer. Cancer is that deeply sensitive. It is the first water sign in the wheel of the zodiac. And it is very intuitive, very receptive, very sensitive. But also, Cancer is a sign that's very much about like the home life and what is home for you. So all of the feels with the Cancer energy, definitely ruling over the emotions and the emotional body. But now we've got the moon aligning into the sign of Cancer. So sun and moon in Cancer together. And I love when that happens, because that's a divine union. I'm all about the divine union. So masculine, feminine, aligning for that oneness, that integration of your divine self, of the divine in one energy in the collective, if that makes sense. Plays back into what I was already talking about there with the healing of the masculine. So this is a time, that new moon, all new moons are about new beginnings, rebirth, forward movement, and planting new seeds for the future. But with this particular new moon, you're really going to want to focus on the self-love. And one thing I heard when I was tuning in was a question for us all to be asking ourselves with this new moon energy is, how am I showing up for myself? How am I not showing up for myself? One thing that came up for me with the masculine wounding was I didn't feel supported by the masculine. What that translates to on an internal note is, what I'm not doing for what my masculine is not doing for my feminine. So that is that my masculine isn't supporting my feminine enough. So now I'm asking myself, as we all should be, how, I should say, how am I not supporting myself? How am I not feeling supported? And how can I show up more for myself? So again, it's about now looking at ourselves all in that state of oneness, not separate, not masculine or feminine, all about the oneness. So it's about what we do for ourselves, what we want for ourselves. And of course, it's not about being selfish to the point that there's not the awareness of the external. Obviously, that's important too. But what can you do for the external if you haven't done it for the internal first, right? So this new moon, self-love. It's all about what feels good for you. And I actually feel like this new moon is preparing us for next week's Venus and Mars alignment, which I'm going to talk more about next week. I don't want to go too much into that. But just know that that's a really big energy alignment between the masculine and feminine, once again, between Venus and Mars. So last but not least, no, I think I talked about it all. Yeah, because I'm not going to talk about that right now. Yeah, so that's it. So that is it for that. And so lots to work with for this week. And the shift in perspective, I think, is the biggest outcome of all of it. So when you can really work with those emotional currents that are coming up and the patterns and the cycles. And I think, I won't name any names, but I had one person reach out and message me, lovely soul, message me about a dream that they had. And in the dream, they were being hunted by a male energy, and were going to be, or potentially be, killed by the masculine energy there. So what's that say? You know, it goes into that healing the past trauma, the anger, the animosity, the wounding that we're carrying towards the masculine. And like I said, I'm not telling everybody to pretend it doesn't exist, to ignore your anger or your pain, because I really feel like it is important for you to own that and understand that, because that's part of the healing process. But we want to forgive now. We want to move beyond this, right? We want to heal because we want to come into wholeness. So it's really about healing those patterns, okay? And that energy. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to check comments really quickly, and then I will pull the card for us all. Hey, Flo. Welcome, lovely. Thanks for being here. Hey, Angela. Oh, sorry, I'm missing it. I'm at Hershey Park. Oh, no, what are you doing at Hershey Park? Are you on an amusement park? That sounds amazing. So don't apologize. You go have fun and embrace that inner child. And if it's a concert, girl, let it out. Have fun. Thanks for wanting to be here, though. Oh, Rob says, oh, you kind of tried healing blessings. You did amazing today. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Jillian says, interesting with the publicity around Britney too. Hashtag enslavement. Yeah, I haven't followed a whole lot about that. But I've heard some things here and there about it. And I've obviously seen that it's coming up again, because it was big a few months ago and now it's coming back to the surface again, which is really interesting. You're absolutely right. Breaking free. Yeah. All right. And I think it was, I hope you don't mind me saying this, Jillian, but there was dream patterning with Jillian saying lots of like kind of yuck stuff was coming up. Like, did you use the word scum? Scum coming up to the surface. So yeah, that is right, because it, even with the eruption, and again the fires and that lava fires, that is this old, toxic stuff that's stored within the energy body, within the earth grid ley lines, to be dissolved, to be disintegrated. Think about the heat of that, the temperature of that lava and what it's doing. So again, that's what's happening to us as well. All right. So, hey, Betsy, welcome, gorgeous. Thanks for being here. You just missed the energy forecast, so you can catch that back on replay. And I'm going to move into the oracle guidance now. You did. You did. So it's funny. It's a funny word. All right, moving on. So I kind of wasn't sure which deck I wanted to work with today, and I kind of just kept going back to one of my all-time favorites, which is the Art Through the Eyes of the Soul Oracle, which is interesting. Through the Eyes of the Soul Oracle by my beautiful soul sister, Cheryl Yambrick Rose. Hey, Elise. Welcome, gorgeous goddess. You're here just in time. The energy forecast was intense and interesting. Feel free to check that back on replay. But going to go ahead and create a sacred space and ask all of you to come join me in that. So just ask you to close your eyes and just take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And just release through your mouth. Really just pushing any excess energy, any distortion out. Seeing your energy just get anchored deep down into Mother Earth. Take another deep breath in. And just allow all stress and tension in your body to just be dissolved, released. Coming into your heart space, your feeling space. Okay. Just asking for guidance for the highest and greatest good of the collective for the week of July 6th, 2021. Oh, holla. All right, I like this one. Goes right into, I love it because sometimes I always question whether or not I should do the energy forecast. Because I'm like, they're getting information, they're getting insight through the oracle message. Should I really talk so much? Should I really talk so much about what I feel, what's going on? And I love it because when I do pull the card, it oftentimes really integrates or just completely wraps up what I said already into a nice pretty bow. And it did that. So the card is Libius, the prophetess of Prague. A new door is opening. Step over the threshold. Ooh, I got chills. Hi, Will. Welcome, and look at that ultraviolet light. Rob, are you watching? Look at it. Yes, it's opening up the kingdom of you. So, first of all, you heard me talking in the energy forecast about how we felt like we were on the edge, right? We felt like we were on the edge of, breakthrough. Is it breakthrough or breakdown? I don't know. They could kind of go hand in hand. They can go hand in hand. We felt like on the edge, and this is crossing the threshold. So this is letting you know what is occurring right now. Everything that came forward in the energy forecast is all talking about the necessary process to get you to crossing that threshold, because the door is opening, my friends. And this is about you stepping into the kingdom of you, the kingdom that has always been you, but new experiences, new opportunities, through a new perspective or higher perspective, through the eyes of your soul. Do you truly get to see things in a different reality? You don't have to continuously experience the same things. You can break free and be open up to new experiences. But in order to open up, we've got to be opened, right? We've got to crack open. Now, at the same time, I want to talk about what I personally also had been feeling over the last couple of days. I think it was 2 days. I don't think I felt it this morning, but last night and the day before, especially going to bed, when I was finally like laying down and being still, I started having really strong chest pressure and tightness in my chest. And I also at times was feeling heart palpitations. And when I tuned into that, I felt like it was not only heart expansion that was happening, but it was heart expansion, which again goes into the emotional healing, to open up and align with our higher heart chakra. And that is that violet, ultraviolet light and energy that comes in. And a lot of you familiar with what the violet flame itself or the violet ray does, which is that alchemical transmutation, to take something, the necessary process of taking something from one state, altering it into the higher state. So that's exactly what it is energetically that we are embodying this week. So you've got the presence here of, I'm going to say a hawk, could be a falcon, but I'm going to say it's a hawk. And that in itself is the eagle eye perspective. It is about seeing things from the higher perspective, but also arising and transcending up into the spiritual perspective. And whenever I have hawk show up for me, I always hear a message that is, Spirit's got your back. So know that whatever it is that you may be going through this week is actually the perfect recipe or processes that are for your transcendence, that are taking you to the next level, that are actually facilitating the opening of doors that were previously closed for you. So through these processes, which could be intense, it's important to remember that you are protected and that Spirit has your back throughout this. And when I say Spirit, I mean that on a very broad term for the divine, your divine self, source, creator, but at the end of the day, love. Love has your back. All right. So important openings occurring this week, all to assist us in our transcendence, to cross thresholds into new and what is meant for us. And I talked about that last week on Moon Day, about how we were shifting and moving more into alignment with our Dharma, or what I consider our North Nodes, what is meant for us, right? And I'm not sure when it's happening, but I know the North and South Nodes are about to shift. But I have to check the dates. If they haven't already, I'm not sure. But the North and South Nodes are important because the North Node is what I consider Dharma and what is meant for us, our destiny, what we're meant to achieve or have in this lifetime. And then our karma being what is our South Node and what we are meant to heal, learn from, and overcome. Okay? So what an amazing week we have. All right, I'm going to check comments really quickly, see if I missed anything, then I'll go into the mudra. Hi, Jacqueline. Thank you for being here. Welcome. I don't think I missed anything on my end. So if I did and you commented and I didn't see it or respond, please don't hesitate to drop it in the comments again, because sometimes they get hidden. And I do notice that when I go back and check things, sometimes I have to unhide comments, which is so weird because why are they being hidden? So I have to kind of really go back and look. All right. So mudras. Every week I like to bring forward a mudra for us all to work with, connect with. And the reason that I do that is because, I'm the type of person that I am I'm very much about not just giving people, information, and just telling people things. Like, I don't like to talk at people and just tell them things, I like to also give people tools to facilitate their own growth and their own healing. And what better tool and what easier tool than mudras? So mudras, the word itself is Sanskrit. These are a very powerful, effective tool that can be used to facilitate the removal, clearance, and alleviation of energetic and physical blockage. So mudra, the word itself translates to seal. So it is to me like an energy activator, an energy, I kind of see it as a button in my head. So when we form this seal, it's like pushing a button that then activates and aligns energy centers. So in our hands, we have palm chakras. In our fingertips, they're each connected to elements, so they act as activators. So when we form these mudras or seals with our hands, which, we do this all the time without even realizing it, because it is ingrained in our cellular memory. We probably have worked with them in many lifetimes, over many different years, and they're still very widely used in many practices today. So talking with your hands is actually like a form of light language and healing, sign language as well. So mudras, we are forming these activators that connect into our energy centers known as chakras. Each energy center connects into our four main bodies. So physical, emotional, mental, and our spiritual body. So just kind of trying to keep it into layman's terms here, but each energy center also rules over different aspects and organs in our physical body, as well as the emotional, as well as the mental, as well as the spiritual. So we can form energetic blocks throughout our lifetimes, through thoughts, through woundings, through traumas, etc. Now, and through just, chaotic energy disturbances. So when we work with these mudras and combine intention as well as breathing, you actually channel life force energy into those centers. Each mudra might connect with one or maybe even more chakras. So you could work with one mudra and all chakras at once. Just depends on the mudra that comes forward. So working with these, it allows you to channel that energy into those centers to alleviate energetic blockage, as well as then alleviation of any physical ailments. Now, they are very potent, so potent that sometimes they come with caution, because if you already suffer from something on your physical body and some like a physical ailment, and you work with a mudra that triggers that chakra connected to that physical area, it can overstimulate it, bringing more energy into it, which could just cause agitation, irritation. So that doesn't mean that it's not helping you. It just means that it might not, be very comfortable for you to do that. So with that said, I will tell you there's a caution with this one. Use it at your own discretion. Obviously, err on the side of caution. Okay. Hello, Angela. Welcome. Hey, Dawn. Welcome. Oh, no, that's okay. Divine timing, always. You know that you can catch the card message and the energy forecast back on replay after this is done airing. Okay. All right. So I like to work with these together, show you how to work with it, and it's going to be the theme or the mudra for the week. So then I'll take a photo, post it on my page, and you can save that to your cell phone. Once you do that, it allows you to work with it all week long on your own. The more you do, the better it is. Okay? All right. So let's see. What mudra comes forward for the collective good for the week of July 6th, 2021? And I'm just going to give a credit here to the creator of the deck. It's Mudras for Awakening the Energy Body by Alison D. Nicola. Okay. So great if you want to learn how to work with mudras and to learn different mudras. Okay. Ooh. Okay, this makes sense. It's the Mira Mudra, and it is nourishment. And that coloring, that orange, that fire energy there, links into our sacral chakras. For the ladies, it's the womb space. For the fellas, it is your hara space, okay? So this is the emotional waters, but also the creative fires. So interesting, that masculine, fire being masculine, water being feminine. You've got the nourishment of the masculine and the feminine, bringing them together, okay? It assists with inner nourishment, which is absolutely what we need as we're going through these processes of emotional woundings and forgiveness and the healing. And, for that ascension, it's about nourishing the self. And you heard me say, with this Cancer new moon we have this week, it is all about nourishing the self. It is all about looking into how can I love myself more? How can I heal myself more? How can I show up more for myself? Okay. It also assists with breath and serenity. It promotes abdominal breathing, provides relief for asthma, relief for asthma, supports the reproductive, eliminatory, and urinary systems, and it directs the breath to the sacrum, lower back, and pelvis. And I have worked with this one before, and I often experience aches and pains sometimes in my lower back and in my hips. And I notice that when that happens, it's me like blocking the fluidity of situations. Maybe I'm trying to control an outcome for something, or don't realize that I'm worried about something, or just feeling like blocked creative wise. And so when I get those physical pains in my hips, in my lower back, especially people who I have noticed, and okay, disclaimer, I am not a doctor, not trying to tell you that this will heal you or cure you of anything, but I will say that it has facilitated alleviation of pain for me. And it has been for people I've noticed that have some issues with sciatica and that sacrum area there. Some people suffer, the sciatic tends to lead from the sacrum. So, yes, so try it, see how it works for you. But we're going to do this together first, and then I will post it on my page, all right? So how we do it is you're going to join the tips of the thumbs to the tips of the pinkies, okay? So pinky finger and your thumbs on both hands. And then you're going to extend the other fingers up and join the tips of the ring fingers together, okay? Just like that, okay? Then you're going to rest your hands in your lap just below your navel, okay? All right, so we're going to do it together now. Going to lengthen your spine, drop your shoulders, close your eyes, and take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Release. Do it 2 more times. Take a nice deep breath in. Release. Really feeling the breath open those pathways. Take another deep breath in. And release. And you can state, my natural breath flows in calm and nourishing waves. My natural breath flows in calm and nourishing waves. My natural breath flows in calm and nourishing waves. And so it is. And you can open your eyes. Okay. So normally, when working with any mudra, you always take the breaths in increments of 3s. There is a method to the madness. It does have to do with the solfeggio frequencies, but they're not solfeggio frequencies, but also of the patterns of the 3, 6, 9, and Pythagorean theorem. But so what you want to do is, we did it 3 times today. So if you're going to work with this tomorrow, maybe you want to do it with breaths of 6, and then later the next day increase to the breaths of 9, and so on and so forth. So the more you do, the more it is benefiting you, but also opening and expanding those pathways, okay? All right, everybody, that is it for this week's Moon Day message. Thank you all so much for being here. Betsy says, makes sense on the mudra for me. Rose, period, came for me today, and have to do right of the womb healing under the new moon. Wow, yeah. And also, you know, our cycle, our moon cycle, is all about release. And as we move into the new moon, the day before being the dark moon energy. And so that dark moon is the time where we come into that death of the old, and our body's natural way of shedding the old and releasing is through the menstrual cycle. Now, you don't have to have a menstrual cycle for that to happen. It is just part of the body's natural rhythm. So right in alignment there with that. But for everybody else, just understanding that dark moon energy. So again, dark moon probably be about, I always start to feel it a day or 2 beforehand. So it's like the 7th, the 8th, you should start feeling this want to come back internally, you know. You might start feeling a little shadowy, a little foggy. Again, great time to sit with those emotional themes coming up for forgiveness and healing, so you can move beyond that now and come more into your divine truth. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you all so very much for being here with me. So much love to you all as you go through it this week. And remember what this is making room for. All right. Take care and have a great week. Mwah. Bye.